Let me know how out there, guys, how much y'all are paying for gas prices out there. Just recently just fell into the $2 range where I'm at, so it's back down to 2.99 where I'm at. So are you paying $2 for gas now? $2, $3? Are you still on $4 or $5, guys? Please don't tell me you're up there still at $5, man, unless you're in like California or New York or something. 'Cause that's actually closer to reasonable if you live there. You know, hit that like, hit that subscribe button for me, guys. If you're new around here, you like my content, tickers and tokens, and talk about the market news and stuff, just updates about the market. Today's video, guys, we're talking about gas prices, and it's gonna be talking about the gas situation in general. So U.S. gas prices are the lowest in the whole year, guys. They're saying you can do these four things to say. We're not gonna get into those, but there was a point not so long ago when gas prices spiked to $5 a gallon. Oh, I remember that. And AAA reports that the average cost of a gallon of gas today is $3.33. Mine's actually below that, so that's actually a very low average, though, considering some of the other places. But what I really want to talk about, guys, is the fact that low gas prices isn't necessarily good news, because we got a lot of other things going on right now. Like we also got I think the main cause of it is going to be that markets pricing in a recession just across the world. So odds of recession are very, very high. Warns this real estate titan anticipates terminal rates closer to 6%, guys. So right now, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. Right, their expected terminal rate this year was 4.5, or the way it was 5%, maybe up to 5 in the last meeting. I can't remember. Well, their next meeting's in a few days, so we'll know for sure then. But they wanted around 4.5, maybe 5%. He's saying it needs to be up closer to 6. I think it actually needs to be higher, closer to like 7 or 8. That's where inflation was. And until we see inflation get back down to 5 or 6%, it needs to be higher than inflation. That's kind of the whole point, right? The Volcker strategy. But they're not going to tell you that. They don't want you to. They don't want you to actually have a successful economy. That'd be too good for you, right? So we overdid it with stimulation. Yes, they did. In 2020, 2021, they printed way too much damn money. Now they're trying to overdo it, and I know I said I want higher rates, and I do, but that needs to be slow. They can take their time with it. I think they're doing the right strategy now, where they're being aggressive now, and they're looking to slow down this next one. And this is going to mean that the economy will most likely go into a recession. Back to my main point, and that recession is the reason gas prices are really coming down, in my opinion. And because when a recession hits, the economy slows to a crawl. Everything slows down. And that's what causes gas prices to crash too. If you remember back in 2008, for those of you who were around, you had the gas prices really go really, really high. They're really low during like 2007, 08, during like the actual crash. And when the stimulus happened, we had gas prices shoot way up. So, and then the other way around, we had the stimulus first this time. That's why gas prices are so damn high. And we had all the black swan events like the war, all that good stuff. I say good stuff, but not good stuff, very bad stuff. But we had the war, we had the pandemic, and it's just been a crazy, crazy last 2 years. The government just printed so much money, guys, so much money, and we're only just now starting to suckle all that money back out of the economy. And I know I'm starting to ramble, so let's get into the main focus of this video. The EU is at odds over gas price caps. 12 countries criticized the latest proposal. So they're looking to put oil caps on, Russian oil. So price caps on Russian oil, sorry. And so many countries are partaking in it. They got a list of them right here. You got the paper seen by Reuters put forward by Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Greece, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, Romania, Slovenia, and Slovakia. Oh man, that's just about that's almost all of Europe, man, except for like the major powers. Says something about that, don't it? Pretty much all of the Balkans, and yeah, pretty much most of the Balkans, and like a few like more or less powerful European countries. Interesting, right? Makes you think.
In what's been described as a modest achievement, the EU has agreed on a cap on Russian oil imports. But gas has become the European Union's bête noire this winter as the energy crisis grinds on and the EU tries to avoid a split that would benefit the Kremlin. I'm joined by two MEPs for this debate that both sit on the European Parliament's Committee on Industry, Research and Energy. Mark Botenga is from Belgium and a member of the left group here. Belgium has been arguing for a gas price cap. Mark Botenga, welcome to you.
Thank you.
I'm also joined by Morten Petersen from Denmark. He's part of the Renew group, and Denmark is skeptical about the gas price cap proposals as they currently stand. Morten Petersen, thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, just to get your reactions first on the oil agreement, or that I mentioned that was reached about an oil price cap. It has been called by some as toothless and basically meaningless. What do you think?
Well, I would be in favor of this. I think whatever we can do in order to tighten screws further in terms of sanctioning Putin is a good thing and a right move. I find it totally grotesque and absurd that basically we Europeans are sponsoring Putin's war in Ukraine, and we're doing so by paying for oil and gas and what have you. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I'm in favor of this.
But if the price is, the cap is above the actual price of an oil barrel, then isn't it just a symbolic measure?
Well, yes, you could put it that way. I think it's a first step. I think it's a first step in the right direction, in my opinion. And as you rightfully said in your introduction, these are really sensitive discussions between member states. So it is a first step, but I think it's a vital and important first step in order to further tightening of screws on sanctioning Putin and his economy.
What do you think?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think the sanctions actually work, because Europe is still struggling with oil. Maybe we've got the problems going on in Germany, they're using too much energy. Yeah, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 are both having issues with the explosions happening and whatnot. So I don't know if Russian price caps will even really do anything to help Europe, really. Anything will probably help Russia, because then they can just, sell that same oil to other countries that aren't part of this embargo type deal going on. So I don't know, man. I just have to wait.
Think about that.
To be honest, I mean, I think it's an important moment, because what we're seeing is now the fragmentation of the world market for oil, which is a first in decades. So it is an important moment. I don't think, to be honest, that it will have a massive impact on the war. We've been taking sanctions one package after the other, and we've seen that the war has been going on. Putin has not said, oh, there's going to be sanctions, I'm going to stop. The European Union has also said that we don't want Russian oil at all anymore. We've had this oil embargo. So I think the impact on the war will unfortunately be very limited. And secondly, we also need to start looking at how are these sanctions impacting us? Because you've seen we've, for example, now replaced part of Russian gas by Russian liquid gas, liquid natural gas. So rather than pipeline gas, we're getting it liquid, which is not better, and it comes at a higher price.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? It's a sort of circular thing, actually.
It is, and it's a terrible dilemma that we're all in, because basically put, we've been addicted to cheap Russian gas imports for decades. And this entire infrastructure or system or way of functioning in Europe, I mean, these days are gone and have to be gone, because this is really a wake-up call for all of us to transit away from fossils in order to meet our climate objectives, obviously, but also in terms of reducing the necessity of importing from Putin. So yes, there are real short-term issues out there that we have to take very seriously in terms of higher prices. But structurally, we need to move out of this as soon as possible.
So let's talk about this cap, because this is where you two might differ a little bit, and without getting too technical, because obviously the Commission's proposals are very, very technical. But in essence, Morten Petersen, why do you think Denmark, and I know you don't represent the Danish government, but why is it arguing against a cap? Basically?
So the worry from the Danish side has been to which extent a cap would have the effects of actually increasing gas consumption. because we see in some countries that have introduced arrangements somewhat similar to this, that there's actually an increase in gas consumption. And I think that the Danish argument would be that we should be very careful in intervening in markets because to a large extent, these arrangements, these terribly complex arrangements that we have on our markets have served us quite well in terms of integration of renewables, which is the future, obviously, which we have to ramp up in terms of pace. But then the worry is that will this lead, this kind of intervention, would that ultimately lead to an increase in gas consumption?
Of Russian gas consumption?
Yes. Gas consumption in total and also Russian, yeah.
No, I'm looking at simply what the people are saying. Like the people can no longer pay their bills. So let's be very clear. And there's no checks, there's no financial little aids that are changing whatever at this level. So we need structural measures. And a gas price cap can be and should be one of those measures. Now the big problem is the European Commission comes with a gas price cap which is that high, you know, that we're at levels that would never be used at all. Even during like August we had this massive price increase of gas, and the proposal of the Commission would not even apply, not even be activated at that time. So it's kind of a fake price cap for gas, while we need now today, people really need a blocking of the prices for gas.
Yeah, so you would argue for what you would say is a meaningful cap that is that is low enough that it can be activated at the right moment.
Well, we need a structural, I mean, we've seen throughout this crisis that the market has not been able to guarantee to people prices and bills that they can actually afford. I mean, of course, we need a pay increase for workers, this is one thing, but at the same time, we need a system fixing prices at levels that are actually, you know, reasonable, normal for people, so that people do not have to be scared once they get this energy bill in their mailbox.
And what about the classic counter-argument to that, which is, well, then suppliers will go somewhere else, they'll go to Japan or somewhere, and then these people who are suffering will actually even have fewer options and will ultimately pay higher prices anyway. What would you say about that?
Well, I think there's two aspects to that. First of all, obviously, this is a bigger problem with LNG, because LNG is generally transported, you know, through boats, maritime ways, rather than pipeline.
Yeah. So basically, some diplomats are skeptical a deal will be reached next week. Point out that countries unhappy with the latest proposal have no support to block it from being approved. I don't know, man. It's getting crazy in Europe, guys, and gas prices should continue to fall here in the States, but don't think this gas crisis is over, because there's still a lot of debate, a lot of issues going on pretty much everywhere. So just a quick little update on the gas situation, guys, how it's affecting the whole world. This is a global situation, so stay tuned. I will probably give more updates on this situation whenever I can, but leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.